Oh, 56 hard in the wall. Looks like we're going to stay green. Oh,
they got to spin.
95 around, 33 hard into the inside wall.
Oh, they're wrecking up front. 93, Ricky Johnson's around, collects a 30, the 59, the 30, I already said the 30. Oh,
They're still wrecking.
Oh my God, the 22 of Jason San Diego, damn it. Oh my word.
Turn 3 and 4.
Side, they fly through turn 3 and 4.
That's 66 now. Oh, they're 3 wide.
Oh, Joe, who's
3.
Who's
I don't know.
leader?
They're 3 wide through the tri-oval. It's a felt there at the yellow flag. For the lead, the 77 goes to the inside, doesn't have the run there. Goes back outside, he's going to try to have the momentum through turns 3 and 4. Peaks to the inside, it's going to be a drag race down the front straightaways. Callum around!
It's going to be at the line, it's so close! Murphlack wins it!
Don't think. Oh, he got really close. He's going to look to the inside. Oh, they make contact! Oh my God! Joseph Weaver! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Gateway Motorsports Park, Worldwide Technology Raceway. You know the rest, you know the names. For tonight's presentation of the ASRA National Championship, as always, I'm your host, Joe Twansky. Alongside me tonight, once again, Ricky Collette. Welcome to Gateway, Ricky.
Hi there, Joe. Glad to be back. Back-to-back this week for another great race here, hopefully tonight at Gateway.
It will be a wonderful night here at Gateway. Yeah, drivers out there on qualifying right now, the sun blinding our eyes down here at the end of pit lane, but Gateway is going to provide a unique challenge. We have Indy cars, so it's a little bit different from a lot of the action we have typically here on JTN, and I always look forward to these ASRA races, Ricky.
Yeah, definitely. The last few we've had have been pretty exciting. You know, these open wheel cars are really grippy, they're really fast, and you know, they got a lot of draft no matter where they go, so there's always a lot of opportunities for slingshotting. Oval track racing with IndyCar is always guaranteed to put on a great show, and I'm sure we're going to see plenty of that tonight.
I have a feeling, you know, if we look at the other end of pit road, where'd the sun go, Ricky? But I feel like tonight we're going to see a lot of close quarters action. These guys we've seen all throughout practice willing to make some risque moves. And I think that's going to play out and give us a very good race tonight. 125 laps around this 1.25 mile speedway makes it 150 miles. Looks like qualifying is complete. Am I correct in saying that?
Yes, it is, Joe.
All right, Ricky, well, why don't you take us through our starting lineup tonight?
All right, starting for tonight's qualifying event, we got 12 cars here, so a little smaller field than we've seen the past few races that we've done this past week, but should make for a little more tight racing, hopefully a little cleaner of a race. But starting on pole tonight is speed of 28.445 seconds, will be the 60 car of Milky. Starting in second position will be the 4 car of Tom Musa. Carmen Reese in the 59 will be starting third. Richard Fenkel in the 2 will be starting fourth. Ricky Bumbalo in the 85 will be starting in the 5th position tonight. The 7 car of Mike Hartman will be starting 6th, with Roger Nebelsack starting alongside him in the 51 car in 7th position. Terry Fastcast in the 33 will be starting 8th. Wade Driscoll in the 78 starting 9th. John Palmer in the 108 will be rounding out the top 10. Dan Rubino in the 44 will be starting 11th tonight. And rounding out the field will be the 21 car of Mojo. And it will make for a 12-car field for tonight's event.
12 cars, a mile and a quarter racetrack. I think that is going to play out in our favor here tonight in the booth. Happy hour right now. Drivers meeting also going on for these race car drivers, so I'm assuming they're probably getting everything figured out. You know, typical driver etiquette and whatnot, Ricky. But Indy cars, it's a little bit different, right? You can't really, hit each other going down a straightaway. We saw what do we see? We saw the 2 weeks ago now. USRL Talladega guys were down the back straightaway. Darren Ingram and Davey Hazard really going after each other. Won't be able to see any of that tonight, but I think you're going to see, like you mentioned earlier at the top of the broadcast, a lot of slingshots. I think that's something that will definitely come into play with these long straightaways and then flat corners. I mean, we saw last night with a relatively flat track at Myrtle Beach, it was hard at times for guys to keep the car underneath them because of the lack of banking. As it looks like the two of Fenkel going out, first one out on track. It was Herman Reese in the 59. But we will see. We will see.
Yeah, we'll definitely see here tonight. The thing is about this place, it's not much different from where we were at Myrtle Beach last night with the Xfinity Series over at Hobo, Xfinity cars. Because Myrtle Beach had 13 degrees of banking. This track has 11 degrees, I believe. Yeah, 11 degrees of banking. It's not in the same shape. It's kind of almost in a Darlington kind of shape. So it has its own set of challenges. But one thing that does factor in here is that these cars are still very one lane. And you're going to see a very different race tonight than what you saw yesterday. Can't really bump and bang, can't really lean on people with these cars. What you got to do is you got to line up the shot and hope that you can slave shot someone down the straightaway. So a lot more strategic plays have to be done here, almost like racing in Indy on a very small scale. So should make for some exciting racing tonight. Hopefully we see some especially close racing with all the slingshotting.
Well, and your visuals too, Ricky, are very different here. I mean, a lot of times the tracks, ovals, they'll have very similar ends to the speedway. Here, though, that turns 1 and 2, you have that big grandstand, whereas 3 and 4, you just got billboards kind of obstructing your view. And I think as a driver, at least I know for myself, you kind of look for similar markings along the speedway at a lot of different ovals, and here you can't do that.
Yeah, well, the thing is too, though, is that the turns are so different that they kind of give their own markings. You can see that there's a rumble strip in 1 and 2 and also in 3 and 4 that help give a frame of reference. But 1 looks very different. 1 and 2 look very different from 3 and 4. Turns 1 and 2 is actually where that 11 degrees of banking comes into play. It's a lot sharper. You're definitely cranking the wheel a lot more to get through there. In cars with less downforce, like a stock car, you'd probably be having to do a lot more braking in that, just hard braking in that turn. But 3 and 4 is actually 9 degrees of banking. It's a lot more, a lot flatter. The turn is a lot more, it has a much larger radius, so you're really not cranking the wheel as much going through that section of the track. 3 and 4, you're really just trying to get the car to rotate over that incredibly slow left-hander. So there's a very different way that you got to take 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 that kind of help negate that a little bit to give a little bit of a frame of reference on how to run each turn.
Watching Roger Nebelsack on track right now. We're now coming to pit road, actually, but hometown race for Mr. Nebelsack in the 51. Also, race named in honor of his friend, Rob Reinhart, who passed away in 2009 in a drunk driving accident. So I know Roger's got a lot on his mind tonight, Ricky, and just moral of the story, don't just a sad story.
Drivers,
just a sad story.
to your cars.
Looks like we're getting cars out on grid right now, so we should be getting our command very shortly.
Should it be indeed? Chevy Camaro pace car out there at the end of pit road, getting ready to go green flag racing here in just a bit.
Start your engines!
We got the opening command, and we have engines fired on track.
Yes, they sound like stock cars. They're not stock cars, they're Indy cars. But,
Oh, don't worry, they show that off on the track. They are definitely a lot faster than stock cars here, that's for sure. And we have a car around on pit road, and
Oh no, big junk.
that might be a reset.
I would reset.
There was definitely contact.
Oh, we're still... Well, in hockey, when you see something like that, you call it a yard sale. Looks like there might be a yard sale down there with used IndyCar parts. There we go.
There we
Get
go.
reset.
A quick mulligan here. And everyone learned a valuable lesson there about the grass. Don't touch the grass.
Don't touch the grass. Grass is bad.
Drivers, start your engine.
It's just the way that that's a tricky part about Gateway here is that these service roads kind of mess you up if you're not careful. And
Well, so much power, too.
yeah, so much power with these cars that it kind of it's just you touch it and you gun the accelerator just a little bit, and it's just like the car will just immediately whip around.
A little bit of wheel spin. Fixed setup tonight.
Yeah,
Everyone's
fixed
got
setup, moderate damage as well.
everyone's got something similar. So it will definitely come down to driver skill. We got the number 60 Mopar on the front row with Tom Musa to his outside in that 4 Auto Nation. I believe it's a Ford.
We're gonna have to guess some tonight because I know Herman Reese is driving a Cadillac, but I guarantee you that there's probably a few manufacturers in that field.
But Milky in the Mopar on the front row, getting ready to bring us to the green flag as we come down the front straightaway for the first time. 125 laps here from Gateway. Here we go. Green flag. We're racing from Gateway.
Look pretty uniform coming off of turn 2 there, Joe, and these top 3 seem to have filtered out quite nicely.
Good for now here. Everyone's single file as we come to lap 2. I think we're having some issues with our scoring, so we'll try to get that fixed under caution if we get one here. Ricky will do a good job of keeping you up to date on what lap it is, though.
Yeah, we're on lap 2 right now, so make a note of that. A little further back here, Terry Fascow is getting challenged for position by Roger Nebelsack in the 51. Nebelsack diving it deep to the inside here, and it looks like he's going to pull that off coming off of turn 4.
Yeah, big power move down at that end of the speedway, Ricky, and Nebelsack going to slide into that position here as we go down into turn 1.
Yep, and there it goes. Had to give him a second because it looked like that 33 had something going down the straightaway, so he was able to kind of stay tucked in. You see Ricky Bumbleau going to the inside of the 7 and Mike Hartman here for position as well.
Bumbleau thinks wiser of it. This is the battle for 4th.
That's going to be a
Or
big
fifth,
thing
rather.
too, Joe, is that those red and white rumble strips, you do not want to be hitting them with these cars. You really got to, the minute you tap that, it's just going to absolutely upset the car. So if you throw it into the turn the wrong way, you could cost yourself quite a few positions just on a small mistake like that.
Well, and two, another thing to watch at home, if you see the cars kind of dipping down into the track, that means they're shifting. Now, I've noticed there's guys shifting through the center of 3 and 4. There's guys shifting down the straightaway. I've also noticed guys shifting going into turn 1, Ricky, and that's allowing the car to kind of slide a little bit more and make it loose on corner entry.
Yeah, you kind of have to manipulate. You got 6 gears to play with here, so you kind of have to manipulate the power band to kind of help the car rotate some. So running, in a lower gear going as you're rolling through these turns actually does help, especially with your drive off. But it's a big thing too with these is that what do you want to be doing for mileage right now? If you're saving fuel, it's wiser to stick in 1 gear or to run up in 5th or 6th gear more consistently. But right now, this early in the run, it seems like everyone's content with downshifting into about 3rd gear coming through these turns.
Well, and everyone's still single file here from Gateway.
Looks like Terry Fasthouse is making a challenge at Roger Nebelsack. We saw Nebelsack pass him earlier, but Nebelsack's going to gap him just a little bit coming off of turn 4. You can see up here, Tom Musa is actually starting to track down Milky in that 60 car. It's just sort of a matter of time. I think he's just sort of having to reel him in slowly coming down the straights here, but lap after lap, he's been consistently reeling him back in.
Musa's really good in this ASRA National Championship. A lot of experience behind the wheel of one of these Indy cars. And that experience definitely comes into play, especially at a track like Gateway that poses, two unique sets of corners.
Yeah, you see right here, Musa's almost on the back the back bumper where it would be on that 60 car. He was getting a really great run coming off of turn 2, going down the straightaway, and just sort of leads him all the way down there. Hasn't been able to get the run just yet, but keep an eye out when they're coming into turn 1 here, because this seems to be where he gains up all his time. Almost see it, he just runs a little bit lower there than the 60 car, and he's probably getting a little extra air on that front wing. Might be helping his downforce.
And further back, fast cow to the inside of Nebelsack. He's going to make the pass going into turn 3, and now Wade Driscoll also looking for position on that 51.
Yeah, Nebelsack's in a bad spot there. That outside line's not going to be as strong. He does get a pretty decent run off the turn here, so he'll stay even coming into turn 1, but then Driscoll's going to get a huge shot here.
And Driscoll sends it down into turns 1 and 2. He makes the pass for position.
But now this back straightaway, as we see Tom Musa is still tracking the leader. Herman Reese is starting to get some contention from Richard Fenkel. I've noticed that 2 cars starting to close in on that 59.
Yeah, still watching back here. Nebelsack now to the inside of Driscoll for that 8th position.
We got he's going to have a problem here. Oh.
Got into that back wheel.
Here with Dan Rubino in a moment if he wasn't careful. Got to pass that 78, and Wade Driscoll gets tight, and that's going to let Nebelsack get right on by him again.
Sack with positioning going into turn 3. He's going to look to make the pass. Oh, he got a little tight on entry, but he doesn't. Now Bino to the inside of Driscoll in the 78.
Yeah, Driscoll's going to be in a bad spot again coming into turn 1, even though he has that edge. Unless he can pull it off, I don't think he's going to be able to pull it down in front of him. Oh, he does. Looks like Dan Rubino kind of gives him that gap.
Back to our top 5 who have broken away from the field. Milky with a 3-car length lead for Tom Musa in the number 4.
Yeah, it actually seemed like Musa that time by got a little tight coming off of 2. Lost a little ground there, started to fall into the grasp of the 59 car of Reese. But it seems like this time by, he's right back on it, right back on the attack. He dives in deep coming into turn 1 and 2. Look at that, almost got his wing to the inside of that 60 car. Hey, you gotta wonder, Milky's running a slightly higher line than a lot of these guys, and I think for the moment, that clean air is helping him a lot with not really having to work too hard with staving these guys off. Do you think he might be trying to save his tires a little bit by not trying to dive it in too deep?
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, we've just seen tires mean so much, especially here with these Indy cars. You want as much grip. It's a flat track, so saving the tires early on, but maybe running a little bit higher on the track is going to help. And like you said, he's got the clean air, so that car is probably not as tight as Musa or Herman Reese or the 2-car Rich Fenkel back there in 4th. So you got yes, Ricky, yes. Answer your question, yes.
Also, while we're talking there, Roger Nebelsack took back 7th position from Tarek Faskhaus. Looks like that 51's starting to hook up a little bit.
Again, his mojo back here as he looks to try to get to the back bumper of the 85 of Bumbleow. Or rear wing of Bumbleow. I got it. I figured it out.
Now, Joe, earlier on, as we're 16 laps into this race here, earlier on, that 4 of Musa was definitely clicking away faster lap times than our leader. But in the last, 5 laps or so, it seems like the 60s started to kind of pull that back, and he's usually not usually a huge spread, but he's usually faster by a couple hundredths, which with how close these cars run, that means a lot in terms of letting Musa reach the leader and make the pass to him. This time by, looks like Tom Musa dives in deep again, and maybe he just found something that last time by, because he just gained a ton of ground in 1 lap.
And now starting to lose that ground, though, because he had to back off on exit of the corner, Ricky, and that's not what you want to do because it's so much about keeping positive momentum. I think I talk about it every single race, it feels like, but you got to keep that forward momentum going throughout one of these races, and, you know, one way to not do that is to have to let off the gas as you're trying to, you know, you should be getting back on it coming off a corner.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't... any indication of having to let off more than you need to here is going to kill you. And again, that 4-car Tom Musa just runs such a lower line than our leader, and you could actually see where it's helping him because he gained so much ground there.
I feel like he's sorry. Oh,
no, go ahead.
There he is to the inside, coming through 2. I was about to say, I feel like he's better in 3 and 4, but Milky might be better down 1 and 2. But then, of course, he goes and proves me wrong before I even say it. So, Musa's really trying to get past this number 60 of Milky.
Yeah, now we know he could get there. We've been waiting this entire time, figuring it was just a matter of when. He's gonna have a good shot here coming in turn 1. He's still pretty close to the 60. See if Milky takes it down lower. He does. Musa actually has to let up there so that he doesn't run into the back of Milky, and that's gonna...
That 60 got really tight off the corner, Ricky. That's gonna give Musa a big run down the back straightaway as we head into turn 3.
And now he's got Herman Reese behind him, which is actually gonna give him a little bit of drafting help here.
They both take a higher line through turns 3 and 4. Musa trying to hunt down this number 60 of Milky. He's been doing it this entire race to date. All how many laps, Ricky?
21 laps, Joe.
Okay.
Yeah, you can see now Milky's taking that low line away from Musa. He kind of found out what that 4's hand is, and now he knows that he has to defend. He has to start taking away that line and put some dirty air on the front of that pink spoiler. But here it comes again. Tom Musa right on that bottom. He is hugging that rumble strip.
Musa all over the rear wing. He looked to the inside, but I think he might have hit that rumble strip a little bit, Ricky.
Yeah, and honestly, it almost looks like he's letting up a little bit. Like he's diving in deep, and then he realizes that, you know, because Milky has the line, he can't just drive straight through him. He doesn't want to. He takes it in deep into 3 and 4. He's going to lose a ton of time on that and probably fall back into the grasp of Herman Reese here.
Herman Reese now getting up to the rear wing of Tom Musa. Like, Musa, though, continues to just be so strong down in 1 and 2 now. Really running that low line to perfection right now.
Yeah, a little further back here, it looks like the 21 car of Mojo just blew up, Joe. Racing the 44, Dan Rubino for position. We'll see if that brings out a caution or if he can get off the racetrack.
Smoke billowing out of that Crown Royal machine, and that's going to bring out a yellow. And that's going to allow us to fix our ticker. So we're going to step away for just a second here. Actually, we'll see. We're going to step away for just a second here to get everything fixed on JTN. So just give us 1 second. All right, back here on JTN, Ricky's going to take you through some developments that happened while we were under caution.
Yeah, Joe, so we get 21 car blue motor. Caution came out here. Everyone came down pit road. Now, with the grip that these Indy cars have,
Drivers to your car.
with the grip these Indy cars have, you can really go a lot quicker down that access road than you think. And the 60 car of Milky actually came down, and then when he was slowing down to get to pit speed, actually locked it up and nosed it into the inside wall. So the 60 Skull car still led coming down pit road. He got straightened out before people could get to him, led it down pit road, and then still came out in first. So we'll have to see. Moderate damage tonight. Don't know if that really registered as any considerable damage, but we'll see in a minute here if that factors into our leader having any issue.
Yeah, working.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, working lap number 27 now. Go ahead, though. You're talking about more important stuff.
No, I was just gonna say no real change in our qualifying order here, or not our qualifying order, our order from caution here. Tom Musa still in second, Herman Reese in third, Richard Fenkel in fourth, and then Mike Hartman still in fifth.
So interesting to see what happens here. That top 5 had broken away from the field, Ricky. A caution for the Engine expiring on the 21 of Moho brings us under that first yellow of the night. We got everything fixed here on JTN up at the top of your screen. You didn't miss anything. We got you covered here as pace car.
Is it Moho?
Mojo, Moho. You know. Here we go, into the restart zone. Green flag, we're back racing from Gateway, and Milky with a huge lead.
Yeah, great restart there. Seemed like the rest of the field wasn't ready for that.
And Musa's starting to pull away from that 59 of Herman Reese.
Yeah, under these cautions, as we see this 44, Dan Rubino got very close to the wall there. Kept it clean, though. Early on here, that's the best time to get a jump on these guys. Because as soon as everyone gets up to speed, that draft actually starts playing a factor. So Tom Musa doing a great job of gapping everyone, making sure they stays in touch with the leader there. Herman Reese actually getting contested for position a little bit, Richard Finkel, but he just started to pull away again. So Reese looks like he's rolling fine now. A little further back, it looks like we have another fight for position. John Palmer going the inside of Dan Rubino. And Rubino will keep the position there.
Now Bumbalo to the inside of Driscoll. Driscoll might have made some contact with the wall there, Ricky.
Yeah, you don't want to do that with these open wheel cars. They're touchy. But it looks like Driscoll has it pretty composed. We'll see if he stays ahead. Looks like, yeah, Ricky Bumbalo is going to make a hard charge to the inside here. A little further up ahead, Joe, we have some more racing. Tom Musa just lost a ton of ground.
And Musa with a big struggle. He loses 2 spots, falls back to 4th. That's going to give Herman Reese the opportunity now to try to hunt down our leader, Ron Milky.
Oh, Joe, Tom Musa actually got loose. It snapped on him. There was a big puff of smoke on it at turn 1, and he hit the apron.
Sorry, Ricky, but we got the 7 of Hartman and the Fast Cows. They're battling for position really close down at the end of the track. But you were saying...
7 of Tom Musa.
Contact!
Oh, I got Dan Rubino into the outside wall. Ricky Bumbalo is down in the grass. Can he save it? He does. Mike Hartman is slow. Mike Hartman is off the track.
I wonder if he blew up.
Oh no, there's so much happening, Joe.
I don't know what's going on.
It actually does look like he blew up. He lost a ton of speed there. I was just checking his telemetry. It looked like he was, and we have a caution on track.
That answers
good.
that.
We got a breather, because holy cow. All right, so... Mike Hartman there, I was saying, was the telemetry on the 7 machine. He was doing about 175 going down the straightaway there, and then the thing just entirely cut out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably what this caution's for, that he lost a motor on track. Probably just wasn't seeing the smoke from that.
Well, an officials...
A lot of things happening there.
Yeah, there is. We'll get you a replay real quick. Like you said, there was a lot.
You had a minute. Definitely want to get a look at this big moment by Tom Musa on lap 30. It was like he broke loose, had to actually get on the brakes, almost looked like, to recover the car, and then lost all of this momentum. And then Herman Reese got the jump on him. Richard Finkel got the jump on him. These guys just came in and just gunned him down right then and there.
Well, there was what happened with Hartman causing the big checkup. Now we go back to what happened with 4-car of Musa getting loose. Here he is, running in 2nd position. Just lost all his momentum. Actually, I don't think we took you far enough back. Let's... back real. So going through turns 1 and 2, this 4-car Tom Musa, he's hunting down the 60 of Milky, and there it goes, snaps on him, does a great job, collects it, Ricky. But that just, he lost all his momentum, and then here comes the Hornet's Nest.
Yeah, that's a tricky place to have a motor go out. Another thing, we already got 2 motor failures on the night, Joe. That might be something to keep an eye out for these guys out here. You know, moderate damage doesn't protect against mechanical failures, so it's totally plausible, you know, with the RPMs these guys are running out here, that might be very hard on those engines out there tonight. A little interesting thing here, it looks like everyone except the top 3 came down pit road last time by.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's an interesting strategy call. You're outside on fuel. if you pit here. Maybe just tires. I'm not surprised to see that 4 of Musa pit, because I think his tires were probably scrubbed off a little bit.
Well, that 78 of Wade Driscoll just made out great. He was running 7th when we came to the caution, and he just leapfrogged up to 3rd because all those guys pitted in front of him.
Hey, I'd take it. Track position's always good to have.
Yeah, track position's definitely good. Does raise the question, though, what do old tires look like versus new tires? As, you know, we kind of haven't got a chance to look at this yet. We're going to get a great example here as, you know, these guys had a pretty solid run on those tires. A pretty good, you know, there's already been a heat cycle run through them. Compared to these guys on fresh tires, how much of a difference maker is that? Herman Reese will be the first one out here on fresh rubber. Looks like he might even be clutching it a little bit, like he's trying to save some fuel.
These card lights are out. It's going to be Milky, Fankel, Driscoll, your top 3. Herman Reese back there in 4th. And 5th. Got it. 33 of Tom Fastcows. Tom Musa follows him in 6th. 7th, it's the 108 of Dog Palmer. 8th, it's Roger Nevelsek back there in the 51. 9th, Ricky Bumbalo. 10th, Dan Rubino, and then here is the 7 of Mike Hartman just pit there, so maybe a little strategy call on that number 7 machine. Pace car makes its way down pit road, and here we go. Coming back to the green flag on lap number 36 of 125. Here we go, green flag, we're racing once again from Gateway. Oh, Milky really high through turns 1 and 2, Ricky.
Yeah, really high here. We'll see if Richard Finkel can get a good run coming off the turn now from that. So we got a big battle back here. Roger Nevelsek coming to the inside of Dog Palmer, and that's gonna... Oh, there's an accident. Ricky Bumbalo hard into the outside wall. There's Mike Hartman again.
Bumbalo just full sent it down into that corner. That will bring out another caution here. Here's the replay.
Yeah, there's a big battle here for position coming on the backstretch, Joe. John Palmer was looking low on Tom Musa, couldn't get it, and then the 25 of Nevelsek had a great run. It was able to just dive it to the inside, and it looked like Ricky Bumbalo tried to go with him and then lost it going into 3 and just had to wiggle up the track and just caught the 108.
Here's the gas monkey on board with Bumbalo. There you see Palmer thought about going to the inside of Musa, loses a little bit of momentum, thinking better of it. There's Nevelsek to the inside of Palmer there. And Bumbalo, he just sent it going down into the corner. Had a big run, and sometimes, Ricky, big runs do not pay off.
Yeah, Joe, a little interesting development under this caution. Milky comes down pit road effectively by himself. Dan Rubino comes down, but him and Rubino are the only ones beyond that weren't in that wreck that are coming down here right now. John Palmer and Ricky Bumbalo are the other two. So Milky actually sacrificing the lead here to get some fresh tires and top it off on fuel.
Wonder if they're probably a little closer than I was thinking on the fuel.
Yeah, I'm thinking that they're close because we saw them clutching it earlier. Through right now because this looks like right now Richard Fenkel is going to be our leader when we go back green here with Herman Reese in 2nd, Terry Fastcows in 3rd, Tom Musa in 4th, and then Roger Nevelsek rounding out that top 5. That's going to put Milky all the way back, but Wade Driscoll comes down this time. Mike Hartman comes in, so that's actually going to bring Milky back up to the 6th position. So Dan Rubino is going to be right behind him. So now this is interesting, Joe, because last time we saw what happened when the top 3 were on old tires. Now, how many we got? We got 2 in the 59, I think, are the only ones here. 2 in the 59 are on the oldest. I think Fastcows came in last time.
Yep.
With Tom Musa and Roger Nevelsek, and now Milky and Dan Rubino came in this time. So there's 3 different pit cycles here. We got to keep track of where everyone was on.
Always love it when the drivers make our jobs extra hard.
Nah, that's a fun part. You gotta start playing with strategy here and see what works.
Well, I would think that the guys that just came to pit, they're not going to be much different than the guys that pit, the lap before, pretty much. My thought process, too, you have an interesting points format, right? You have the ASRA National Championship and then the TMP Racing League Cup Series and Late Model Series Monday nights. There's 30 races in total, 10 for each series. Now, there's an overall points for all 3 series, and then you have each individual championship, and we'll round them down, and we'll have the final 3 races of the overall and the final race for each series in April, I believe, or the end of March, one or the other. But points are a big deal right now because it's only the top 4 moving on to those championship races, so these guys are definitely starting to think about those points as we're getting down to the end of the season, if not just for this ASRA National Championship, the overall championship with the TMP Racing League. With all that said, Rich Finkel going to lead them to green in the number 2 car. Love that beautiful number 2 car out there. Black, white, and red. Green flag. We're back racing from Gateway.
See Herman Reese staying pretty close on that 2 car, but Finkel's going to gap it out here, going through 1 and 2.
Like farther back, Roger Nebelsack looking to the inside of Tom Musa. He gets back in line.
Take John Palmer looking there on Dan Rubino going down the backstretch, but not able to pull it off this time by.
You're going to need a little bit more speed, a little bit more momentum to make that pass work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ricky, one thing I've noticed, there's a lot of tire screeching going down into turn 1. Is it just because these guys are throwing the cars into that corner so hard?
Yeah, they're just throwing it in so hard. That's just by nature what Gateway's like. We're seeing cup cars here. They would be kicked sideways going through 1 and 2. You see Herman Reese there getting challenged by Terry Vasquez. Vasquez got a great run going through 3 and 4 there and just couldn't go anywhere with it. And a little further back, Steve Rubino making a charge at the inside of Ricky Bumbleau. Bumbleau's going to stay high here, and looks like they're going to be side by side coming down the back straightaway.
Bino on the inside, Bumbleau on the outside. Bino had a little help from Palmer there, gets back in line to get a little more draft and lets off going down into turn 3. Tom Fastcows on this 33 car now starting to fall back off of the 59 of Herman Reese in front of him. Although there he goes, really being
Tom. Why was I saying Terry all night?
I don't know.
I just say that to me.
Well, you see, Ricky, I like to try to keep it like, oh, we just made I don't want to call you out for a mistake on the broadcast. That's not very nice.
Tom Fastcows. I don't know why I said Terry. My brain was like it was definitely Terry. I didn't look at the list before he started. That's my fault.
Hey, at least you got the T right.
Tom Fastcows.
Oh!
He gets sideways. Oh!
Big wreck here off of turn 2.
I jinxed him.
Oh, now we're
they're both
flipping. Well, that's 2 for the flip count for tonight.
Mike Hartman into the inside wall as well.
And further in front, Wade Driscoll made contact with the outside wall. Get your replay.
Oh, yeah. John Palmer looks like he's having some issues.
This is just a stack up here.
Yeah.
Fastcows has a huge run going into the corner. Herman Reese not as quick on the older tires. He has to check up. Tom Musa just can't get checked up in time.
Yeah.
And then you just got some of the old NR warp where the cars are just so close to each other with the hitboxes and it flips them both over.
Yep. Someone in chat just said physics has left the chat, and that's about what usually happens when these cars stick together like that. Right, very unfortunate for both those cars there, but yeah, that 4 of Tom Musa was just along for the ride after that first bump with the 33 of Tom Fastcows. It was like, I've seen that happen so many times where you tap someone in a turn like that and they get sideways, and it's like you're carrying so much momentum, you can't do anything. So the second shot's kind of what did them in.
Yeah, there's the onboard with Nebelsack in the 51, able to get through there okay. And Milky actually is probably the big winner there, made up a bunch of spots.
This time by Joe, Richard Freckles coming down pit road. And it looks like Herman Reese is going to follow him. Milky's going to stay out. Roger Nebelsack's going to stay out. Ricky Bumbleau, Dan Rubino. Now this brings into an interesting factor here. Now Milky and Nebelsack are on the old tires. Not a very long run on them, but these guys, fifth on back, are gonna have some fresher sets to deal with now.
How big of a deal is that? This one's a little bit. There were a couple more. It was like what, 5 or so laps run under green there, so probably a little bit bigger of a gap than.
Oh, we got a car around on pit road.
Oh no.
78 of Wade Driscoll got spun around to his pit box. It looks like.
It looks like he's back going.
Yeah,
live?
Oh yeah, sorry. He got kicked around while they were under pit stops there. My bad. I was checking a replay and forgot about it. But he did get kicked sideways while we were talking there, looking at the racing surface. So Wade Driscoll coming back down pit road again. I imagine to get topped off on service there, but he spun around in his pit stall last time by. Going back to what you said earlier, Joe, about 5 laps here. I would imagine it's not going to make a huge difference right off the bat, but we saw it with Herman Reese on that last log jam. That at some point that tire difference does actually start to play into how these cars are handling. And we're only 49 laps into this 125 lap race. We're not even. We're technically not even halfway yet.
Right.
Guys, got a lot of fuel mileage. I know we're talking about them being good on fuel, which sounds weird because we're not even halfway, but like tires still are going to be a big factor. And now we got another development. Herman Reese left the server and came back in, Joe. So it looks like
fell out.
Looks like Herman Reese having some connection issues. Says he is back in, so I'd imagine we'll see him back on track here in a moment. Yep, Herman Reese coming up pit road right now. But these guys are coming off of turn 4 to take the green. I don't know if Reese is going to be able to get back here.
They're not taking the green.
Are they taking the green?
No, Ricky, the pace car lights are on.
I'm
retired sim racer Ricky Collette.
I'm bowling a lot of gutter balls tonight.
That's okay. You know who knows a lot about bowling gutter balls?
Who?
Our friend Mr. Gordo, Alex Gordon. Heyo.
And the myth, the legend.
I get him back on the call here.
Why are you calling me back every week then?
I like you, Ricky. I like your spirit. I wanted to make you do
stammer over everything every week.
I wanted to make you do 2 in a row.
I got no problem with it.
What it feels like. Third night for me. I need probably coffee or something because boy, back to school tomorrow. But
you can ask Gordo to stand in for you, and we can figure out the ticker on our own.
Yeah, right. I'd have to do that at some point. But here we go. Milky out front. Nebelsack in second. Farther stuff we see in this 51 car. Let's see if he can make something happen on the 60 Skoll machine of Milky as we get ready to head into the restart zone coming to lap number 52 of 125. Green flag. We're back racing from Gateway.
Milky gets a great jump on that start. Looks like he'll wash it up just a little high again.
That's
going to 1-2 and lets Nebelsack come through. Ricky Bumbleow. Look at Ricky Bumbleow making a hard charge to the inside of that 51.
Big move by Ricky Bumbleow in the number 85. They're going to be side by side going into 3. Last time we saw this, though, 85 got a little loose on the bottom, and he doesn't do it this time. Move Ricky Bumbleow up to second.
Ricky Bumbleow's making a charge for first here, Joe. Where did he come from? He was in an incident earlier.
You just waiting. Just needed a little bit of track position. Now he gets to the inside of Milky off of turn number 2. It's going to be a drag race down the back straightaway going into 3, Ricky.
Yeah, and looks at this. Ricky Bumbleow holding steady. He's going to have the preferred line here going into 3 and 4, and he's going to pull it off. Ricky Bumbleow is now on point in that Gas Monkey Chevy. And it looks like the 60 is actually going to lose a position to Roger Nebelsack as well.
And
so now, Joe, we've seen what these new tires can do. What does Dan Rubino do? Because now he's tracking down that 60.
Dan Rubino all over the rear wing of the 60 of Ron Milky.
Gonna look to the inside. Here's Milky Milky
looking to the inside of Nebelsack. Nebelsack takes a really high line through this corner. He's going to try to keep some momentum going. They close the gap off of turn number 4, side by side down the front straightaway once again. Milky going to have the preferred line going down into this corner, though.
You know who's loving this right now is Ricky Bumbleau up there in that 85. The more these guys race, the more it slows the rest of the field up, and that just gives Ricky Bumbleau more and more of a gap on the field, but you can see it. Dan Rubino is tracking down that 60. And I think right now, honestly, him and probably this 33 right behind him with Tom Fasthouse, they're probably just trying to find a way to pass these guys without running them over. You can just see how much ground they can gain up in the turns.
Mm-hmm. That's all that grip on those fresh fire zones.
Yep, and there you see it again. Dan Rubino looks to the inside on the 60, decides against it. That's a lot of what's going on here. Is I think with a fast car, you see Richard Fenkel looking to the inside of the 33 with these. With a fast car, it's not necessarily that you can dive it in and just make a pass on someone because these cars are so sensitive in the turns. You got to really kind of coordinate when you make that pass. So you come up on these guys, you get a huge run on them, but you can't necessarily pass them there. 33 of Fast Cow's making a great charge to the side coming into turn 1.
Hey, right on cue, Fast Cows had a huge run off of turn number 4. Was not able to capitalize on it, though. He's going to hold position back there in 5th.
A little bit of a wad back there, a little further back, but I want to take my eyes off of this because Fast Cows keeps looking on the inside of that 44, Joe.
Yeah, farther back, Mike Hartman going to the inside of Wade Driscoll for position.
Looks like they'll filter out a little bit, so looks like the whole field's single file for the moment, but now, as we talked about, Dan's got fresher tires than these two guys in front of him. Now we can start tracking them down again, unless the 33 of Tom Fastcows makes another charge. I did it again, Joe.
You can't make the mistake anymore. You got corrected, so now if you start making the mistake, it's bad.
Dan Rubino dives in deep into 3 and 4 and spreads that gap out again, but now Roger Nebelsack starting to reel back in Ricky Bumbleau.
Nebelsack has been towards the back most of the night, now getting some of that good track position, some fresher, cleaner air, not clean air, but cleaner air on the front wing of that machine. That 51 car starting to come to life here at Gateway.
Yeah, and you know, we saw it there, how easily the 85 passed in when it could be possible. I'm not necessarily about tires equalizing out. We see the 2 of Finkel going to the inside of the 33 right now. But it could totally be possible as well that the draft's doing a lot of the grunt work here with keeping these guys rolling down the straightaways. So if you're getting a good run off the turn, you're in someone's draft that might be able to negate, as we got a wreck in the back, Joe.
Oh, 7 car up and over.
Herman Reese.
Tom Musa.
Oh.
That's going to bring out another yellow.
Unfortunate for some very fast cars here, Joe, that got mired in the back after that last incident.
It looks like Hartman going to the inside of Herman Reese coming off of turn number 2. Car's going to... Oh, he gets tight up the track, makes contact with that 59er Reese, then they just do a little... You know, they're like super bouncy balls there, and...
Yeah. Again, they just glue together. There's not much you can do at that point, but, man, that was so weird. It was like the, it almost looked like the 33 of, the 51... Guys coming to pit road here, but one running very slow. Looks like he might have been trying to let somebody by. Oh, they were trying to figure out who was the leader there, so they didn't get black flagged, I think. But, sorry, I got a little sidetracked there. The up 33. It looks like Herman Reese, when he went into turn 1 there, Joe. I don't know if he took it higher than he wanted to, but he took it very high there, and he had to slow up a lot. So when the 7 of Hartman came up, he saw that hole, and he just dove for it. But then Reese had a great run coming off, and I think Hartman just got tight at the wrong time.
Just a tough break there. Herman Reese having struggles, but they're down on pit road trying to get things fixed. Race off pit road. Milky, Fast Cow, Nebelsack, Dan Rubino, and Dog Palmer. Herman Reese still down there trying to fix some of that damage. But out front, it is the 2 car of Rich Fenkel.
And we'll see right now what happens with the 7 of Mike Hartman here and the Tom Musa, because I don't know if they actually came down pit road. I would imagine they got to come down for some kind of repair. That 7 was straight up flipping.
They might wait for the last time by.
They might. I think that sounds plausible. The 7 I'm not as concerned not the 7, I mean the 4 I'm not as concerned about as I am the 7, which was literally flipped
Up and over.
Yeah, but Wade Driscoll getting a big benefit here from staying out there.
He's going to be back. Again, he's capitalizing on pit stops.
Yeah, it seems like every single stop we see these guys kind of leapfrogging each other on strategy. We see like 3 guys stay out and the rest of the field pits, and then we have to deal with that the entire run. But you know, you saw how well it worked for Ricky Bumbleau there, but you saw that at some point he kind of hit a wall and the field kind of came back to him. So you got to wonder if the 2 Richard Finkel saw that and went, I wonder if I can hold off these guys, a long enough time that the tires will kind of equalize out a bit. He'll be able to stay up front. The 7 of Mike Hartman is going to continue to stay out here, but it looks like Musa's going to come down. And we get 1 to green here, Joe. 64 laps to go.
Hartman staying out.
I think we're past the halfway point in the race, I think. What's 125 divided by 2?
62 and a half.
Okay,
Just over halfway.
That's what I thought. So we're a little over halfway here tonight.
Quick maths.
A little quick maths here. JTN quick maths. 2 engineers, we can't do quick maths. But we'll see how this whole pit cycle goes now. Because Mike Hartman, I'm concerned about that 7, Joe. He flipped. Like, he's going to have some aero damage, even on moderate damage. He took some good shots there. I cannot imagine that he's on the track right now without some degree of damage.
Yeah, well, keep our eyes peeled on that number 7 car there, restarting in 3rd. It's Fankel, Driscoll, Hartman, Nebelsack, and Rubino, your top 5 here for this restart. And here we go. Green flag back out at Gateway.
And Driscoll giving Fankel quite a wide berth there for that restart. But it looks like he starts to close it right back up coming in off of turn 2 here. Now we'll see it with Mike Hartman. We'll see how these guys fare with him. As you see, Nebelsack looking to the inside of the 7 here.
Yeah, that 7 car's probably got a little bit of aero damage that's really going to hurt it at the end of these straightaways, Ricky. We'll see what Nebelsack does if he can get a good run off of turn 2. That's really been where guys have set up the passes. They get a good run off of turn 2. They try to get to the inside going into 3 and 4, and then they finally are able to complete the pass in 1 and 2.
And
Nebelsack! Hard to the inside wall.
Now, does that bring out...
No, it does not.
Because he's not on the racing surface. And at the same time, Dan Rubino just made a hard charge to the inside of Hartman and got past him. Further back, Milky's losing a position to Herman Reese here, who we just saw in that last accident.
Reese is a lap down.
Oh, Reese is a lap down. My apologies. Oh, that 59 car is still running good enough that I mistook him for a lead lap car, so that's a good sign for that 59 Cadillac team that they got most of that damage repaired. But Dan Rubino making a hard charge here to the inside of the 78 of Driscoll, and he gets loose. He hits those rumble strips, but he still has the momentum, it seems like. That lap's going to be a net gain on the 78. It looks like Wade Driscoll's just running a very high line right now, and the 44, Dan Rubino's going to get to the inside of him here. I'll make pretty quick work of that Furniture Row car, it seems.
He's got to try to get a pass because that 2-car Rich Finkel is getting smaller and smaller out the visor right now.
Here comes again. He keeps getting that run to the inside.
There he might have it. Nope. Ah.
And right behind him. Milky making a run to the inside of Hartman here. So Hartman's holding a little better than we thought he would, I think. But
Driscoll into the wall. Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
There's a lot going on right now. There's a lot going on right now.
Milky's going to make that pass on Driscoll here as well, I think.
He gets by Hartman and Driscoll in 1 lap, so we'll see if the 60 car can start to mount a charge to the front.
Now, this raises a bigger question, Joe, as we see this absolute wad of cars coming off of turn 4 here. Where's Dan Rubino's tires relative to Richard Finkel? Rubino just got tires, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah, so now we got kind of the battle of fresh versus old rubber.
Old
track. You see everyone's freight train in that 78 right now.
Yeah, I think we're seeing that the bad side of having the older tires with Wade Driscoll. Looks like that car is just tightened up beyond. I almost said beyond repair. That's not how tires work, but Just seems like it's tightened up a little too much here.
That time by, Dan Rubino ran a 29.079 by himself. Our leader, Richard Fenkel, ran a 29.193. So that's paying off right now. Those clean tires. We'll see if this time by it's the same, but it's going to be a little skewed now that the 60's coming up on that 44. But Richard Fenkel running by himself right now out there. No drafting help. So this is kind of as close as a barometer of mechanical grip as you're going to see out there.
Well, in clean air, too, that's got to be a big advantage for that 2 car right now.
Yeah, but they're still running a few tenths faster than them. Milky in third position just ran a 29.028, while Fenkel ran a 29.241. So I think it's a matter of time that they reel him back in.
Well, reeling them in, too, and passing them are 2 different things. We've seen that tonight.
And meanwhile, Herman Reese just ran one of the fastest laps we've seen all night. Not the fastest lap on track. Just ran a 28.7 last time, or 28.8 last time by, while the rest of these guys are running 29-second laps, 29.2s. So that 59 Cadillac lap down here, if Herman Reese can get a caution, we'll see him back in the shuffle, I think.
Well, he's catching the slipstream, too, off that 60 and 44 car.
Yeah, but I thought he would be with he's been in a few incidents tonight. I figured that would have some kind of hindrance on his performance, but it really doesn't seem like it's doing anything to him.
Working lap number 75 of 125 here at Gateway. You're watching JTN.
I thought you were questioning that, what the name of it was. I thought you were setting up to be like Worldwide Technologies.
I have no... Dude, this track has had so many different names over the years, I got no idea.
Right now, it looks like top 3 stay pretty consistent. The entire field's very spread out because we got a lot of guys with damage and then a lot of guys with no damage. But the one thing that's been consistent is the 60 and the 44 just sort of having a little dogfight back here. Find the leader who's been consistently running about 2 tenths slower than guys following him. So that time by, it looks like it's the same story.
Well, we know that 60 car Milky, he's the fastest cat in town, won the pole here. So you got to think maybe he's going to try to get around this number 44 car, Dan Rubino, sooner rather than later.
Yeah, he's got to do it sooner rather than later because when Dan Rubino catches the 2 of Fenkel here, they're both going to log jam. And you know, he's going to get stuck in a weird spot where it's probably going to be hard to make an aggressive move on Rubino without risking, everyone's safety. Looks to the inside there, still can't pull it off just yet. But if Rubino catches Fenkel here, he's going to have to start checking up pretty considerably if the time differential stays the same like it's been. And Milk is going to have to let up a lot, so I think it's going to lead to a little bit of a log jam, and I think it's easier for that 60 car to just atude all of that by passing Rubino.
And Milk,
he has him in his clutches.
He's going to have a run here.
Inside. We'll see if he can make it going into turn 1 here. He's got that wheel to the inside, but looks like Rubino's going to hold on here.
Dan Rubino, it looked like he hit that rumble strip down there in turns.
Looks like the 2, Richard Fenkel's coming to pit road.
There he comes. Oh, that means everyone's going to have to pit again, Ricky.
That's going to be an interesting factor. I saw the 78 of Driscoll come down last time. The 7 of Mike Hartman's coming down this time. But yeah, that's going to play into a factor here. But for the moment, it looks like Dan Rubino on point. That Mother's Chevrolet.
You like polishing your car, Ricky?
Yeah, I like polishing my car.
You use Mother's polish?
I think I do.
Look at that product placement.
I think I got leather cleaner somewhere. That's them.
Ah,
as well.
Yeah.
But like right now, we got Hartman and Fenkel on pit road. So right now, looks like this is the race for the lead until these guys decide to come down pit road. But for the moment, this is going to be an interesting little battle here, Joe, because these guys are pretty evenly footed. Rubino and Milky have just been kind of running the same lap times around this place.
Well, and it's so hard to pass too.
Yeah.
Having that track position for the 44 Rubino, it's I would just put him at the advantage, even though I think that 60 might be a little better.
And looking in chat, Steve Rubino saying that the 44 will have to pit again.
Right.
So that probably means that all these guys have to pit again who haven't already pitted. Milky's probably going to have to come down as well. So this is going to be interesting. You can even see it. It almost seems like these guys kind of dipped down a little bit coming into the turn. I couldn't tell if they were downshifting or if they were actually clutching it, but it looks like they're clutching it as Mike Hartman is around in turn 1.
Round on the track, no one coming, so green
No
flag
caution.
stays out.
He is slow on that backstretch, though, so he's just got to be careful because the leaders are coming off of turn 2 right now.
Oh, Bino really close to the wall, scuffed up those right sides a little bit.
It's a little bit of wall kiss. You can get away with a few of those in open wheel, but you don't want to hit it too hard.
Just a little light peck, not like a full-on smooch.
Yeah, and it looks like the 7's rolling again, so these guys should be able to get past him with no real issue.
Well, could we see issues, too, when Bino starts getting some of that draft off the 7? Maybe that 44 tightens up.
He's going to tighten his car up, but the thing is, that 60 behind him is already kind of dealing with that. Oh, man. But we'll have to see, because the more I see him tightening up, the more I'm kind of inclined to agree with you, even though I was just saying it. As we saw there, my opinion changed to that one move there. Maybe it does factor in. The car might tighten up a little more when we get some dirty air on that nose. But at the same time, though, how much longer until Dan Rubino pits? I would imagine that as soon as he pits, this all becomes a moot point, because then the 60 is going to be coming with him.
77 car went around off a turn. 2 once again. That's going to allow Herman Reese to get by Milky. And remember that 59 car trying to get back on the lead lap here. He's not for position.
Yeah, that's really going to hurt Milky, because now he's got to pass Herman Reese again. And Herman Reese is a lap down. On courtesy, if you really want to, Tom Fastcow's on pit road, by the way. If he really want to, that 59, he could let the 60 by as courtesy. But the thing is, the first car a lap down, if he passes the 44 and a caution comes out, he doesn't even have to deal with the lucky dog stuff. 7 is around again, Joe. Coming off turn 2. No caution still. But what I was saying is, basically, he doesn't have to do anything, because in his position as the first car lap down, right behind the leader, he's within his right to race the leader for position.
Mm-hmm.
So Herman Reese really probably won't concede this unless he really feels like he has to. Mike Hartman's still on track here. I'm a little concerned with how many times he spun that those tires are completely shot, but we'll see. Oh, he is still sideways, Joe.
Oh, he's going around again!
And he collects Tom Musa, straightens it out, no caution again. But, this is going to get spicy if the leaders get here. Leaders are about 2 turns back here, so I don't think we're going to have to deal with this yet. But Mike Hartman finally conceding to those Firestones that he needed to pit.
Those things were shot.
Yeah, they were shot. I was like, okay, 1 spin, I could think, he could probably nurse it to the end. 2 spins, I was thinking, okay, they might be a little destroyed right now. But then 3 spins there, it was like he was getting completely sideways in those turns. But right now, Dan Rubino holding ground. Herman Reese in second. Milky in third. The thing is, that 60's been running slower times than 59 and the 44 the last few times, too. So I'm wondering if the 60's tires are starting to go as well.
I'm thinking this 44, the tires on it are starting to go, or he's clutching a little bit harder because this 59 of Herman Reese keeps getting closer and closer. Again, not for position, but if that 59 can get back on the lead lap the hard way, the old-fashioned way.
Milky is down pit road, and it looks like Rubino was flashing the chat. He's pitting. He was pitting this lap last time by. I would imagine that means this lap now.
The 44, Dan Rubino comes to pit road here. He's going down there, so this 44 Mother's Machine coming to pit road for what should be the final time in this race.
Taking it very gingerly down here, making sure that he doesn't come down with any incident.
Well, you got to be careful not to go too easy, though, because that's going to lose you a lot of time.
Yeah. But now this is going to be an interesting... Oh, Richard Fenkel is slow on track. Oh, Richard Fenkel hammered the outside wall, Joe. And he was just off speed the entire way down the turn. It was like he wasn't even under power.
Here's the replay of that. Oh, big hit.
Very bizarre there. Almost like someone came disconnected or he was having some issues with something.
Back live here, though.
And I was just about to talk about that. I would imagine he was going to have the advantage because those guys were running 1, 2, 3 before he pitted. But now that he's hit that wall, I imagine that's out the window as Milky's ahead of him. See where Dan Rubino comes out, but it looks like he might lose a lot of time to that 60 car here, Joe.
Milky coming off of turn number 4, Rubino just going into turn 3, so a lot of time lost for that 44 car.
We'll see as they come across the line here. Right now, Ricky Bumbalo is listed as our leader. The 4 is in second.
They're both coming to pit road.
Yeah, the 4's in second. The 60. Yeah, that's yeah, it looks like Dan Rubino lost a lot of time there, Joe. So this really, right now, this might really be the 60's race to lose as this all shuffles through. The 8.5 and 4 on pit road, that's going to give the lead to the 60. I think the 2 is going to be listed as second. But as we saw there, the 2 is on older tires. He hit the wall hard, so I think it's having some handling issues right now. The 2 car, Richard Fenkel.
Yeah.
Oh, the 59, Herman Reese, I think is blown up, Joe.
Oh,
He's
no.
on track, and that's going to bring out a caution.
Well, this changes everything.
Well, this, oh my goodness. If I was Richard Fenkel, I'm buying that man a steak because he just saved his race. Very unfortunate for Herman Reese. We saw how fast that car was tonight, but can I make a North Star joke? I did that last night.
I think you can.
No, that's not fair. We were talking about it though. Technically, I could make it tonight because IRL used to run the modified version of the Oldsmobile Aurora engine, which is a variant of the North Star engine. So I could say that and it would be half true. Or a quarter true, because I don't run North Stars in IndyCar now.
Oh, Ricky, you're...
A lot of cars are going to get the wave around here, though.
Milky coming to pit road, Fenkel coming to pit road. I think everyone's going to be coming to pit road. Hope Fast Cow's staying, or is Fast Cow a lap down?
Yeah, at this point, I think, no, Fast Cow is not a lap down, actually.
So he's staying out. Dan Rubino also staying out.
Now, this kind of comes down to what we saw with Ricky Bumbalo and earlier with old tires, is that, you know, Fast Cow only has maybe like 10 laps on those tires. Is that enough? We're at 95 laps here. We're, you know, about 30 go. I think 31 specifically. Is that enough time for him to stay out there on old tires? Does that start to factor in on this?
I don't know. I don't think so. I really don't, because the track position, it's just so hard to pass here. I think having the track position, it's a bigger deal. Dan Rubino now coming to pit road. That's a little puzzling.
Dan Rubino was having some handling issues there last time by. I saw him kind of getting really squirrely, so I'm wondering if those tires weren't agreeing with him. He had a bad set or something. Might just be coming down for some fresh rubber. But
now you've just lost all the track position. I really think track position is the key. I really do. Now, I know that 60 car is really fast, but he's going to have 3 guys in front of him that have been really quick all night long, too. He's got
a big thing to pay attention to here. So we know Tom Fastcows. I keep doing that. You keep telling me don't. Tom Fastcows. I'm just going to start calling him Terry and let him get mad at me. The thing that Tom Fastcows, we saw him pit earlier. His was earlier in the cycle. I'm not sure when Wade Driscoll in the 78 came down, but Ricky Bumbalo in the 85, he was one of the last cars in that green flag pit cycle to pit. We saw it there that the 60 car gained the lead from the 85 coming down pit road. I don't recall who was racing with, Joe. Was it with the 78? No, the 85's coming down pit road, it looks like. But,
these guys must be closer on fuel than I'm, like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, because if I was Ricky Bumbalo, I would have stayed out there, because he had the freshest tires of everyone that did that pit cycle, because he was one of the last people to pit.
Well, Nebelsack had just pit, and now he's back down pit road, so I'm thinking, yeah, these guys are probably pretty close on tires.
Tom Musa just having an issue. Oh, it looks like he was stopping to let the pace car on by. Not sure where he's going to be cycled through here as we go green, because I don't think he took the wave around.
It'll
but,
be the lucky dog.
yeah, but we're
Our
going.
lights
We're
are-
one to green right now.
Huh.
So
Well, a fun
Interesting.
time here.
interesting
time.
thing here. Tom Musa up front. So we'll see how this goes. Some old-fashioned single file racing, lap cars up first, I suppose. But he might not even. He's not technically even a lap down right now, so that might be part of the issue. But I'm surprised he didn't just wave around.
Well, we'll see what happens. It's Musa out front right now. Fast Cow's second. Third, it's Driscoll. Fourth, Milky. And fifth, Fenkel. Pace car makes its way down pit road. Musa leading him back to green. Still trying to see how timing and scoring shakes out here. We get ready to go back racing from Gateway. Here we go. Green flag's back out.
Yep, and Musa is last car on the lead lap. I shouldn't say lap down, but. So that 33 Fast Cows is really going to make a hard charge on them quick, and I think, yeah, the 4 of Musa is not going to put up too much of a fight here.
Why not just pit there?
I'm not sure, Joe. There might have been some issues there. Maybe he couldn't get down pit road. Maybe last minute he decided against it. I'm not exactly sure. But you see these guys wiggling all the way down the straightaway, snaking all the way down. Here's John Palmer making a charge to the inside. Dan Rubino going to the outside of the 2, doesn't pull it off, and that puts him back into the grass with that 108.
Just a big wad of cars back here,
He's
farther
going to
up.
get picked behind the 7, and
Ah!
he's going to get the hole.
Farther up, Ron Milky making the pass on Wade Driscoll for second. Trying to take Rich Fenkel with him through.
And Driscoll holding off hard here, but it looks like Fenkel's going to have the dominant line. It looks like Rubino's going to get a hard charge here.
Oh, Rubino, big loose!
Hit the apron and just wiggled it a little bit. That's something that's really easy to do here. And it's like, it costs you so much position when it happens. It's always like a 1 in a million shot when it happens, but tough luck for the 44 Dan Rubino, because now he's going to have to rally back here and make a charge at these guys again as he's fighting with Ricky Bumbelow for position. Now Fast Cows is going to have to contest with Milky once more.
Well, those two are teammates, too,
Oh,
so
big
something
move
to
coming down the
watch.
backstretch. And coming for the lead here, Milky going to the inside of Fast Cows.
Ascow's just going to let him by.
But Fenkel's going to get a great run here coming through the turn. And look at that charge Richard Fenkel's making for the lead here.
Oh, he wants it really bad right now. He moves up into second. Let's see if he can clear this 33. He does, going down into turn 1.
I think that 33 knew that the 60 was faster and was being a good teammate and letting them by. But Richard Fenkel saw what they were doing, knew the 60 was going to go higher. Oh, Mike Hartman gets a little bit of a wheel touch with the 78, and they stay straight there. 33's coming down pit road, Joe, so it looks like he might be tagging out here on those old tires.
Yeah, 78 also coming to pit road. Those two stayed out. Having to come down and get some fuel.
What I was saying was, it seemed like the 33 was letting the 60 on by, and Fenkel, who's been tracking the 60 down a lot of the race, I think knew about that whole, how the 60's been kind of running a higher line, saw the opening there, went not so fast, just dove into that inside line to make the charge. And man, if that doesn't wake you up, then nothing will. But it puts John Palmer and Dan Rubino gets back into a very good position here in 4th place. Now if he passes John Palmer for the position again, he's back in the shuffle in this top 3.
Continue to watch the battle for the lead, though, as Rich Fenkel trying to make his way around Ron Milky for the lead. Here at Gateway, just over 20 laps remaining in this thing.
There's again, that 60 car just washes up a little bit. You can see that seam in the track where he's riding it on, and he gets a great run coming off the turn this time, though. And John Palmer, Dan Rubino almost literally wheel-to-wheel coming down the back straightaway. Give that spot to Dan Rubino. That man is working for that today.
Every time he makes a pass down there in 1 and 2, he gets so close to that apron, that rumble strip, and it...
He tagged it a little bit, and that's what let Palmer get that little bit of a run, but it looks like Rubino's got the faster car at the moment.
Yeah, so he collects it back up. He'll try to make his way up to try to catch these top 2. But he's sitting in a good spot. There's Palmer and Hartman back there. Behind him, Driscoll coming back to pit road.
I see Milky got a great gap on the 2 of Fenkel here. Last time buys, we got a few cars hitting the wall here. Dan Rubino almost hit it. John Palmer almost hit it. Mike Hartman got a good slap off of it.
Well, those guys towards the back, it sounds like they're really clutching, Ricky. I'm thinking these guys aren't good to go to the end.
Yeah, you might be right, Joe. The 78 Wade Driscoll almost spun it coming off pit road. Never spun it, but he got sideways and had to clutch it into the grass. 33 Terry Fastcow is coming back. Tom Fastcow is coming back down again.
That's another $1 in the jar. It's not the nickel.
Yeah.
Now it's $1.
The Tom Fastcow is fun. Every time I accidentally call him Terry for no real reason, I gotta put $1 in the jar. But John Palmer making another charge at Dan Rubino here.
Trying to get this 3rd position away. A podium spot awaits if he can do it. Don't look now, that 7 of Mike Hartman starting to close in on this battle for 3rd.
Yeah, Mike Hartman, though, is running a lap down, so not much he can do at the moment here other than really ride around and just hope that there's another caution. First car a lap down, so if anything happens as he comes to the inside of the 108 of Palmer, if anything happens, he'll be in the lucky dog position. I think it's wise for him to stay back behind these guys because with how much is on the line for this 3rd place position, not going to be able to make that charge on the leaders probably, so in his best interest right now, it's probably just to wait it out because not much you can do to gain position other than make sure that those lap down cars stay behind you. Next guy in line would be the 4 Tom Musa, and he's very far back from the 7.
Now looking back at the 85 and the 51, Ricky Bumbledo in the 85, Roger Neville second, the 51. They are really clutching it hard down into turns 1 and 2. I think they're saving fuel, Ricky. I think these guys are going to have to pit one more time.
That's going to be an interesting little factor here, Joe. And you know, one interesting thing I've noticed is that so this. You know, half-mile track, I believe, or you know,
1 and a quarter.
Yeah, yep. 1 and a quarter. So this is a short track. It's not actually. You can get away with a lot more fuel saving here than a lot of places. I know this is kind of breaking immersion, but NR 2003 is not well optimized for fuel saving. In the sense that the bigger the track, the more it means you can't save laps on fuel. But I mean, it's kind of real to real life too, in the sense that you know. Bigger tracks naturally more mile per lap, but at a short track like this, you can save literally probably close to double digits of laps clutching it around here if you're really smart about it. But you see Fenkel coming down pit road, and Richard Fenkel, the first one to take to pit road here of these front guys.
It's just going to be something we're going to have to watch here up in the booth here at JTN. Make sure if you're liking what you're seeing, you hit that like button, hit subscribe here to the JoeTow Network. We're on the road to 450 subscribers. It's free to do both of those things, so I don't see why you wouldn't want to. It's just the biggest and bestest. The second one isn't a word, but that's the best way to support us here at JTN. You can also head over to our Facebook page. Give us a like over there. You can also contact us if you want to get your own league race books on our Facebook page. Head over to our Twitter. Give us a follow on there. And you can also check out the JTN merch store. All those links below, as well as links to our sponsors, JoeTow Designs and AutoSim.
Joe looks at Richard Fenkel coming out pit road here. Now what he's really got to hope for is that no one else loses a motor and that this stays green, because if these guys got a pit, then him calling that bluff there and coming down early could be the move of the race here, because now these guys are going to be clutching on track. He's got fresher rubber than him too. He can just run wide open to his heart's content and just start flicking away fast lap times here, just eat into the lead that bit of lead that he lost at 60.
Well, it's what we talk about a lot of times, right, Ricky? It's short pitting. You short pit because you can gain more on the front end of a run when other guys are on the older tires. The new tires we've seen all night long are quicker. Doesn't necessarily mean that guys on new tires have been able to pass, but since maybe these guys, they won't be competing for position, they might be a little more likely to give him the spot. To receive Fenkel going to the inside of Palmer. This, again, not for position, but it's going to help him start to gain some of that time lost by pitting.
Yeah, and Palmer just lets him on by, but you see how big of a difference those tires are making right now, and how much of a difference it is clutching around this track as opposed to staying wide open. So we'll see how this 2 strategy plays out. Like I said, really, there's not a lot of people racing each other on track, so I would think in theory it's pretty much a slam dunk that we're not going to get another caution for an accident, unless people start getting close together again. The most likely thing that would happen is a motor failure, which we've seen quite a few of tonight. So we'll have to be careful
Well, we're at 10 to go, and that's our TWB 10 to go. Head over to GardenLightsDirect.com. From porches to patios to more, GardenLightsDirect.com has everything you need. Presented by TWB. That was your TWB 10 to go. Yeah, but Milky out front right now, Ricky. I mean, he's really got to like what he's seeing. Got a huge lead over Dan Rubino back there in second, but if he does have to come to pit road, does it splash a Speedway Racing fuel and then get back out on track, or do you take some tires?
Now, with the gap he has, I feel like... Oh, that's a tricky one, because with the gap he has, I would almost say he probably could take tires. Because if he took tires and Fenkel's still ahead of him, well, then he's got the fresher tires. So, in theory, he could track back down that 2 car. But, man, with the closer Fenkel gets, the more that gap's going to spread out. And the issue is if he comes down just takes a splash, well, then he's on old rubber. And that's really going to start to show against that 2 car. That's a tricky spot for the 60 car of Ron Milky. We'll have to see if he can save it to go all the way to the end.
He's just been pushing the car. I don't know if he could save it, but again, he could have been good. I'm still confused why the 2 car came to pit road, but we're also seeing other guys save massive amounts of fuel, so I don't know.
I'm thinking they are saving, so it's something we gotta keep an eye on.
Well, yeah, Ricky.
But you can even see that the 60s kind of is doing it. You can almost see it. It seems like he's driving a little conservative around here.
But I think it's too little too late because he also didn't come down pit road under that last yellow like some of those guys behind him that saved a lot more.
Yeah, this is gonna be an interesting one, interesting finish. The other thing too, and I only think the other thing I didn't even think about though, is that you got Dan Rubino. We got a couple of cars behind the 2 that have just been saving like crazy. Dan Rubino, John Palmer's been is super off pace. John Palmer actually coming down pit road here with 6 stops to go.
Here comes the 108. So
that kind of gives you an idea where these guys are at the moment. That if any of these guys can make it on fuel, they might be able to beat the 60 and the 2.
Here comes the 2 trying to make a pass, get his lap back here. And here is Milky coming to pit road. He is. Oh boy.
Now keep an eye on the 60. We gotta make sure that he doesn't spin it coming to pit road because he's gonna be blown in with a lot of steam.
And Dan Rubino, he's gonna make the pass for the lead coming off of turn 4. Coming to 4 laps to go. He clutches it big time down the front straightaway.
Dan Rubino is in super save mode. Mike Hartman comes up on him. Oh, Hartman a lap down here. Yeah, it's just a bad timing here. I think he's probably a little better on fuel at the moment. We'll see if Dan Rubino...
Yeah, he's coming to pit road.
That put Roger Nebelsack in that 51 back on the catbird seat. Now we'll see if he can manage to stay out.
Nebelsack out front, hometown track. 3 laps to go this time by.
It looks like Richard Fenkel will come out in front of the 60 car Ron Milky, not by a lot, mind you, but that might be all that's needed if these guys can't make it.
Back to Nebelsack. He'll be coming to 2 laps to go this time by. Just has to get this 51 machine around the track 2 more times. That's only 2.5 miles, folks. That's not a lot, but oh boy, it's going to seem like an hour to him behind the wheel of that race car.
Yeah, we got the 44s down on pit road just coming off, so right now it looks like he's out of the shuffle unless these guys all start coming down pit road. Right now, Roger Nebelsack not even really clutching, Joe. He's still out there under his own power. Mind you, he's going pretty off pace, but Ricky Bumblow on the other end of that coin is clutching it like crazy as he comes down here to take the white flag.
One final time around Gateway for the hometown hero, Roger Nebelsack. Can he do it? Does he have enough Speedway Racing fuel in the tank of this 51 Chevrolet Chevys? They usually have the better fuel mileage at Indianapolis. Let's see if it looks like he's going to have the better fuel. There's no suspense here, folks. Coming off of turn number 4, Roger Nebelsack's going to win a Gateway.
A fantastic job of that 51 team. They had to. That was a lot of fuel strategy there. The 7 of Tom Musa actually just ran out coming to the line. So a lot of these guys very close there. Fantastic job of that 51 car.
I mean, and he saved a lot of fuel there, but oh man, winning at your home track, it's got to mean a lot. And with everything surrounding the race tonight, race named in honor of his friend who passed away in 2009, I'm sure this is going to be a big win for Nebelsack in the 51 car.
I think he's clutching it here, making sure he's got enough fuel left in that thing to do some burnouts.
Here he goes. That's why he saved all that extra fuel, Ricky. Oh! I don't want to wreck that race.
Great job of that 51 team tonight, though. You know, he wasn't... I don't want to say he was slow, because he wasn't, but he was definitely in that front shuffle with those guys, but we hadn't really had him as a considerate for lead at all during this race. It was really the same kind of 3 or 4 guys that sort of kept flipping the script on each other with all that pit strategy. We never saw the 51 up there, but I don't think he ever got a chance to lead the race until right at the end. So fantastic job by Roger Nebelsack to play the strategy game here and steal the win away.
Well, and what a fantastic win. We're going to move to our post-race coverage here in just a moment. Stick around. We'll interview our top 3 drivers, as we always do here on JTN. Get them in the booth in just a second. Make sure if you haven't already, hit like on the video, hit subscribe here to the JoeTowNetwork on the road to 450 subscribers. Getting ever so close. Top 3 drivers starting to trickle their way into the booth. We'll start with our 3rd place driver tonight, Richard Finkel. You led a bunch of laps tonight, but just came up short on the fuel mileage. If you going back, would you have pit under that last yellow to try to make it to the end?
Well, actually, I probably would have pit under like the 2nd yellow of the race. When I stayed out with the 60, I was thinking that was probably a bad idea. I think that's where I actually got off sequence with this. We had a whole bunch of green flags there, and then we had a bunch of cautions, and I definitely didn't want to be stuck in the back. So I don't know. I think I did the best I could, and thinking it through my head as we were going, I don't know if I would have done it any differently.
Well, you led the 2nd most laps tonight, so that's got to be a big win in the, or I don't know what I'm trying to say. That's got to feel good to lead a lot of laps here. I know, it gets you some positive momentum going forward here in the ASRA National Championship, but tonight, I know, it looked like it was really hard to pass out there. Was that just because of the flat track? Was it the tires? What led to that?
Well, yeah, I think you're right. It was a little bit difficult to pass. I don't think it was tires. The tires didn't really fall off unless you got the right front hot, and then you had a problem. So I think it was just the way you had to enter the turns here. They're so big and sweeping that everybody was on the brakes at the same time or downshifting at the same time, and those are your spots where you normally would pass. And it was just so tough to you really had to be alongside of somebody because you could really get a pull off the corner. And you really had to make sure you're alongside of them. Otherwise, I think there was a couple of instances we saw where guys weren't clear and they kind of clipped each other, pinched each other in the wall, and it was kind of tough. But overall, I think it was a good race, and I don't think it was a tire issue. To be honest with you, I think it was just maybe the nuisance of the track with the sweeping turns and flat track, like you said. But I think once you got in a groove and you figured it out, it wasn't as bad as it may have looked to everybody watching. I don't think it was that bad.
And tonight we saw a lot of, you guys were really close out there. Speak to that. Is it nerve-wracking? Do you have a lot of confidence in the guys you're racing around, being able to race so close, especially with these open-wheel race cars?
Yeah, we have a good group of guys here. I think with any league, when you race with guys a lot, you kind of know their tendencies and you get comfortable around certain guys. I don't think there's anybody out there that I'm not comfortable racing around. I think everybody gives everybody enough respect and give and take. We've come a long way since we started this earlier this season, and I think it shows on the track. We've had some good races, and this was another one. And I'm glad that JTN and the viewers got to see it.
And we're glad that we were able to come here to Gateway. Before we let you go, Rich, this is your moment to shine. Thank all those beautiful sponsors on that wonderful number 2 race car.
Yeah, shout out to my teammate Tom Musa. Also shout out to SiriusXM, Blue October, Wright Engineering, and that Ford power plant that I got underneath there was pretty strong tonight. Came up a little short, but felt good.
Just need a little more EcoBoost in that Ford motor tonight. But again, congratulations on the 3rd place finish tonight. Good race for the number 2 team, and good luck. Good luck next week. It was TMP ASRA League. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of different unique racing, and good luck next week. Go get them.
Thanks, Joe. I appreciate it. Thanks for everything you do for us. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you, bud. Thanks for talking to us. Richard Finkel, driver of the number 2 Sirius XM machine tonight. Moving on now to our 2nd place finisher. We go 3-1. I know our 1st place finisher, I'm sure he's itching right now to get interviewed. But we're going to start with Ricky Bumbalo, driver of the number 85 Gas Monkey machine tonight. I want to take you back a little earlier in the race, Ricky. You made a move you made a move going down into turn 3 that just did not pay off. After that, what did you learn about trying to make passes down at that end of the track?
Not to follow Roger. I just overdrove that corner trying to follow him, and he got on the brakes real hard and tried to keep it off dog and end up taking him and myself out. So, yeah, the lack of talent I've got.
Oh, don't say that. 2nd place finish tonight. You said you didn't want to follow Roger, but I noticed you and him were the only 2 guys that decided to try to make it to the end on fuel. Talk about how hard it is to kind of save fuel, especially in this game with the way NR 2003 works.
Well, it was pretty hard. This is like the 2nd time that I managed to finish a race with fumes. It wasn't that long ago at Hobo we had the same issue, I think at Michigan, I believe. It's pretty difficult sometimes, especially if you're not really good at it, and I'm not really good at it. But it's better than what I was racing tonight to finish 2nd. That's all I gotta really say on that one.
Well, and you led 10 laps tonight, so a good finish. Decent amount of laps led. What's your biggest takeaway though from tonight? Is it just that you're finally able to get the fuel mileage, figure that out? Was it because you did a really good job tonight. Subtract that one moment where you made contact with Palmer, of being able to really race close with guys, especially up off the corner, and that really helped you kind of keep that forward momentum going that we talk about a lot during the broadcast. What was your biggest takeaway from tonight?
Biggest takeaway is it seemed like I'd get tighter than anybody else, and I changed my line several times, especially when I was behind Roger. I'd follow him and try to figure out his line. I couldn't run his line. I just still push, so I had to keep messing around till I finally found something that it worked, and it allowed me to stay close to the front for the most part, and then having to save fuel on top of that was a bit of a strategy play of having to run a certain line. There's a couple times I about got ran over from drivers that either pitted or was trying to save fuel. I know Roger about ran me over a time or two saving fuel himself, and so I can kind of hold my head up high that I got a 2nd place out of it. Better than my buddy Herman. Looks like he blew a piston looking at the rundown score. So,
well, before we let you go, Ricky, here's your chance. 2nd place finish. Shout out all those sponsors. Anyone you want to shout out?
Yeah, thanks Tom and Roger and Rich for everything they do here for us. And shameless plug, also thank my buddies over at Hobo for everything they do, because I get to at least 3 nights a week to get online and race with my buddies and have a good time, especially with the way life is. It's great to have some sort of positive thing to have to when life starts getting you down or whatever. So thank all those guys for everything they do, and thank you guys for allowing us crazy knuckleheads to get on here and make a butt of ourselves, and you get to promote it.
Hey, we always enjoy having the content. Ricky, congratulations on the 2nd place finish. Good luck next week.
Thank you, buddy.
as Ricky Bumbler, driver of the number 85 Gas Monkey Garage car. And from one Ricky to another, my broadcast partner, Ricky Collette. It was a really good race tonight. A lot of different stories, but I think we're about to start talking about the best story out of tonight.
Yeah, I definitely think we are. I don't know where else you want me to go with that.
All right, bringing him up into the booth now.
He's in the booth. He's been in the booth the whole time.
Hey, immersion. Roger Nelbusek, driver of the number 51 car. Roger, there's a lot of questions I could ask you from starting this off, but winning at your home track, it's a video game, it's whatever. Winning at your home track, how much does that mean to you?
Well, it means a lot. It really does. I don't get too many of these, so getting to win at what is considered my home track, yes, absolutely. And yes, go all Chris Economaki on me. I've got all night.
Well, I tried to mention it. This race too, the naming of it had a very special place for you. And then to win it, let's kind of speak on that real quick.
So this is named after my very good friend Rob Reinhardt, as a lot of you know, and I might not be here had something happened and I got in the car with him that night, actually, because I was supposed to hang out with him the night that he died, and might have been the three of us in the car instead of him, his fiance, and their friend. So I'm extremely blessed to be here, and it's just any little thing I can do to help remember him, basically, because I don't get to go visit as much as I should since I live pretty far away now. But any little thing I can do to help remember him, especially when it comes to racing, I'm gonna do it. And for so long, you probably can't see it on the little car, but there's a little number 7 on the car because I was a big Robbie Gordon fan, and so I was like, that's probably the best thing to do is put number 7 on there and put in memory of and make sure it rides with me all the time. And it was. I think he was riding with me tonight. I don't think there's any other thing after the 2 close calls I had, and I was very, very close on fuel. So I think I had a heavenly engineer tonight. I really do.
Well, and real quick, thank you for sharing that, because I think it shows how much, people don't, always think about how much racing, and even if what we do, and what you guys do, how much it really means, and how it's that connection you can have with people, and whether they're here or they're gone. And again, it shows these folks at home how much this race really does mean, especially to you. To win it here, you were able to save the fuel at the end of this race. Was that, because I saw you came down pit road a second time, was that when that caution came out when it did, was that first thing that came to your mind, hey, I can make it to the end on one stop as long as I save enough?
Yeah, I was looking at it and I said, well, I don't think I've been able to go that far on gas. I said, I'm going to top it off and give it a try. I might be able to do it. And to Ricky's point, actually trying to clutch and get the speed right and everything, oh my gosh, I was swerving like a drunk chipmunk, man. I swear to God.
Well, and to talk about that too, because we saw a lot of shifting going into the corners tonight. And my thought from the outside was that you guys really had to time when you got back on the gas to get a lot of momentum going down the straightaway. So then adding on top of, now trying to save fuel, what was the difference in the challenge between when you weren't saving fuel and then when you were saving fuel at the end?
Well, I don't really know how to answer that, to be honest with you. I only shifted twice a lap when it got late in the run. So the start of the run, 5th gear in 1 and 2. And you're right, you had to get that apex right to get that car pointed in the right direction that you could get full throttle off that corner without burning off the tires and sliding and possibly hitting the wall. And then through 3 and 4 early on, I left it in 6th. And once the RPMs and the speed got low enough, I was like, okay, I need to bump it up to 6th. And yeah, or to 5th. And yeah, late in the run, that was really hard to do because I was trying to manage how far behind I was. And I saw that I was catching dog, and I was in my mind, okay, well, I can catch dog for 3rd maybe, so let me manage that and see if I can just get a podium out of it. And then I heard the 2 call for pits, and then I heard for the 60 to call for pits, and I was like, I think I've got this now.
Well, that had to feel really good too, just kind of outsmarting them in a way too, because I think those guys, maybe they were thinking another caution would come out, or something else would happen that would maybe get them to the end, because you guys were just way too far outside the window. That's where I was kind of confused.
Yeah, absolutely. I was living on a prayer. I really was. I was like, well, we're gonna try this, and we're gonna see what happens, and whatever the result is going to be, the result is going to be. And in this case, it turned out to be a W.
Well, it worked out. Had enough fuel, too, to do a little bit of a burnout. So that was good for all the fans. And real quick, before I ask you to thank all your beautiful sponsors and people back at home, thank you for having us out. I know you've kind of led the charge to get us to come broadcast these races starting last year with the championship race for Michigan. We're just really excited every time we get to come out on a Monday night, and you guys put on a great show here at Gateway. But with all that being said, victory tonight. It gives you the honors of being the last one to thank all your sponsors, all the people back at home. Go for it, buddy.
Well, I want to thank Ski Citrus Soda, first and foremost. I've been a big fan of theirs for a long time, and so I decided to put them on the car, and so I got my first W with them, and I've still got about 36 cans of ski, so I think I'm going to shower victory lane here in just a little while. I'd also like to thank Rob Reinhardt's family. They were watching tonight, so Bonnie, Mandy, I hope Alex and Austin, Rob's 2 sons, got to see it. So yeah, this wins for them. Thanks to my wife for letting me do this. Thanks to you guys for coming out. It's always enjoy having you guys, because that's always a fun time, and I'm always hopeful that we can put on a good show for you and make it entertaining. So thanks again. Cheers, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Roger. Congratulations on the win once again. Roger Nebelsack, driver number 51, Ski Citrus Soda Machine. And Ricky, I'm gonna get you first tonight. Sum up the race for me. I'll give you 5 words.
You know what?
You don't have to use them all.
Yeah, I'm gonna do you one better. I'm gonna use less than 5 words. The ultimate strategy play.
Yeah, we did see that with Roger Nebelsack and Ricky Bumbleau both deciding to save it at the end. They capitalized, I think, maybe on some guys overlooking that possibility of making it to the end on fuel, and did a great job of saving the gas to get to the end there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, with all that being said, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in tonight. We appreciate you guys, as always, sticking around. We got some great numbers tonight. Might not look like it on your end, but we got some really good numbers. We appreciate these guys at the ASRA. You always put on a great show. We can't wait to get back out. We'll be back with them, TMP Racing League, which is the same group of guys, just Cup Series from Homestead in a month's time. Next broadcast here on JTN, USORL Red Bull Cup Series from Pocono on January the 30th. That's Rolex 24 night, so you'll have a lot of racing action for you at home. You got to get 2 screens set up, one for JTN, one for IMSA. But for all of us here at JTN, for Bristol, our producer / camera dog, for Ricky Collette, my partner up in the booth tonight, been Joe Twancy. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hit the like, hit subscribe, and we will see you guys next time right here live on JTN. So long for now. Have a wonderful night.